The bottom right now in the blue, looking really, really good in his run thus far. His name, Clem. Maybe a little bit vulnerable, losing a game in future in that last series. In the red for Dragon Kites of Gaming, Dark. I'm actually curious. I don't know how often these two play each other, and it's only 31 times in the entirety of Legacy of the Void. That goes back to 2015, so 8 years, 31 times, and as even gets 16 and 15. I think Legulac, what did it say? Yeah, thinks Clem wins by a very slim margin, 50.6. I think that is the most even. I think it's the most 50-50 result. I think it's the most 50-50 matchup prediction that I've ever seen, actually. I think that is by far the most just, I don't know. I know they're pretty even. Prediction I've ever seen from Legulac. This should be good. I hope it's going to be good. But for now, Clem, he's doing the Beyond thing. He's doing the, I'm going to be aggressive. And I'm going to open 2 barracks, 2 Reaper, run across the map, put some pressure on. But what I am very curious about, and I truly don't know how this is going to go, is what level Clem commits to this to. For right now, he's got 1 Reaper. He's going to go to at least, he's going to go to at least 3, right? He's going to go to 3 Reapers because that's, that means you 2-shot lings, you 2-shot drones, you can put on decent pressure on queens even if you're not going to kill him. That's kind of that baseline of, if you open 2 barracks, you might as well get 3 Reapers. But I want to know whether he goes to more than that. If he goes up to 6, maybe 8, something like that. Again, really commits heavily to the Reaper play because it's just a little bit less common. So let's see. Okay, yeah, it's gonna be 3 Reapers. That's it. The macro version of this. He's got his command center on the way anyway. So pressure, certainly. Forcing more lings, certainly. Delaying the 3rd base, absolutely. Dark, actually, yeah, we got to point this out. Dark didn't send a drone early. Dark wasn't able to go and find his way to the other side and do anything like that. So, from that perspective, looking at that, I mean, this is already great for Clem. He's delaying the 3rd base for forever. Dark's gonna have to wait for speed. This is massive already for Clem in this game. Generally, if it's only 3 Reapers, you can get your 3rd base out. It might take some damage, but it's going to be okay. Because Dark just didn't send that early drone. He didn't want to have that inefficiency. Now, it's 330. It's 46 supply, and Dark is only just now taking his 3rd base. Of course, Dark does have link speed done now. He's going to flood across the map, but these Reapers are very close to home, and I don't... Well, actually, they run out of the map a little bit. Dark looking for the surround, trying to cut him off in the pass here. Is he going to get him? No. Clem jukes left, tries to find a way. 1 Reaper. Oh, maybe. I don't even know. Dark, he finds it. He gets them all. There is no way you escape from this as Clem anymore. Clem got a little bit... Well, I guess Cyclone. No way. And now the Cyclones are on the map. Clem overcommit. And no, wait a minute here. That's a supply depot that's down. This is a disaster. Clem, 2 Cyclones, 3 Reapers, a Marine. SCV's pulled off the line briefly. I'm not saying Clem's dead because he's not, but this is a disaster. An unmitigated disaster for Clem right now. He loses 2 SCVs on top of it. We go from this position where Dark was maybe not the best spot. Where Dark didn't take his hatchery at 32. He had to take it at 46. Much slower. Well, now 14 links go down. That's fine. These 3 Reapers, 2 SCVs, 2 Cyclones, they're all dead. I'm behind this Dark. A couple safety roaches, just making sure he's okay, making sure he's safe. And behind that, Lair on the way, double Evo on the way. Yeah, Clem went greedy. 3rd command center behind this. But he has absolutely 0 control of the map right now. 0 agency. He's got 2 Hellions. Maybe they can do something. He has no ability. He really doesn't have any ability to influence the map right now. So he's just going to have to play patient. play on those 3 bases, get his double eBay, get tanks on the way maybe, get combat shield, get those upgrades. Just, this game's going to have to go to 15 plus minutes, I think. Anyway, 1-1 on the way here for Dark. Ranged attack for the roaches really on the way. Clem, though, is committing to pressure. He got stim done. No combat shields. They're not ready yet. They're not going to be ready for this push. It's a decent amount of Marines. Not 16. It's like 14 or something. He's got the Hellions as well. He's going to try to put pressure on this 4th base. And Dark, he's a little bit slow to react. Finds himself supply blocked slightly. So that's obnoxious. But it's not going to be much more than that. Not at the 4th base, at least. But we are starting to see some of the problems of Roach Place, certainly before Lair Tech, certainly before the speed upgrade, before Glial Reconstitution. It's slow. It's hard to cover all your locations, especially in this position right here between the 4th base and the main, where the Terran, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump. You go and you lift up and it's fine. Meanwhile, the Zerg has to run all the way around. So eventually, Roach speed's gonna be done. These queens are in a decent position here, but it's only 2 queens. Clem jumps on top of him, trying to mitigate the disaster early on. He gets 1 queen, loses a medevac for it. It's gonna get even more. These queens are dead. It's regicide in the main base, and the roaches fall here as well. Dark, where's your army? It's so slow there on the reinforcement line. And yeah, Clem's gonna have to pick up running away after he loses enough Marines that it's only 1 medevac full. But I mean, that makes up for a lot. 5 queens dead, 4 roaches, but it's the 5 queens. That really do make the difference. Of course, Dark now getting ready to move out onto the other side. 87, 93 supply, 1-1 done. But Clem's already getting his bunkers ready. He's getting his wall ready. He's got 2 tanks in the 3rd base. I love what Dark's doing here. A couple roaches on the right side. Main army through the front. It's just a big surround. Trying to get on top as well as he can here. There's not a lot of army, but the tanks, one of them gets multiple shots off before going down. Second one still firing here. SCV is getting pulled, but this bunker does not survive. And as much as getting those queens was obnoxious, this is enough damage. I think the tanks go down here as well. 18 workers fall. And Dark, he's only up 20 army supply for the moment. But he's got +2 armor on the way, and he continues to build roaches right now. 18. Again, 18 dead SCVs. But as I say that, I said I thought this was worthwhile. That army supply got awfully close. And as the roach player, you very much want to be ahead in army supply. You want to be significantly ahead in army supply. So now 2-2 on the way here for Clem, +1 mech attack on the way. He's still on 60 SCVs, actually. His economy's not bad. But he does need to spend some scans. He does need to knock this creep down because when the creep is outside of the Terran 3rd, something's gone wrong. You know it's a rough game. We're going to have to see what just happens right now. Is Clem has to give this position up. His Marines are not powerful enough. They're not ready. And Dark continues to build more roaches. He continues to try to max out on this. We don't see an infestation pit going down. There's no hive on the way. Dark is not transitioning in this game. It is by hook or by crook. He is winning this game on this roach timing and maybe on the 2-2. So with that in consideration, the fact that he's only up about 20 army supply right now is really, if you're a Dark fan, this is disconcerting. This is scary. Because Dark is not in the position that he wants to be in. It's not, if you're going to max out on roaches, you want the Terran player to be at like 150 supply, maybe. Ideally closer to like 140. The fact that Clem is pretty quickly here cresting above 100 supply himself in the army supply, that's rough. It's going to be really hard. But Clem now, because Dark has paused, because he's waiting for this 2-2, he's maxed out. Clem has found a way to put 24 Marines, 3 medevacs into the main base, and Dark is, because he's on the map, it's not ready for this in the slightest. Now Queens get sniped here, infestation pit on the way, but if Clem finds it, that's just dead. This is a big drop for Clem right now. This buys him so much time. And the scout, he got the queen. Great, that's massive. He sees the infestation pit going down. He knows what's happening, but now Clem has to beeline home. He's got to find his way back home right now because this is the timing. But Clem is just about maxed out. And this tank, no way, Dark. There's no way you break this. Even if the bios land, which they won't. Absolutely not gonna happen here. The tank line is too damn strong. Dark waited far too long in this game, and Clem's up in army supply. Clem is up in army supply against a 2-2 Roach Max. The bios are getting a lot of medevacs. That's really nice. And of course, the other really nice thing is the fact that this is not the easiest thing to chase down. The tank count is very high. It's on 9 tanks, but that's not a mobile army from Clem. So even as Dark kind of took a pretty bad fight, Clem still has to be very careful about how he chooses to take this fight, where he chooses to take this fight. But just look at the oh man, Dark whiffed on that. That was, I think, every bile in that army, and it didn't get anything done. And let's see what happens now. Is now the biles will fall, but again, minimal value. This tank line, Dark can't get close. He really cannot get close here. It's too far too strong, especially with +1 and the upgrades. Dark doesn't have a lead right there either. So biles, they're gonna get a tank. As Clem leapfrogging his way slowly forward. Stim's on top of the Ravagers now. And again, more tanks are going down. More medevacs continue to fall. But look at the line of blue onto the other side of the map right now. This is just so good for Clem. And eventually Dark is going to run out of the ability to kite backwards. He's eventually going to run out of the room on the map to run away. And once you put roaches and Ravagers in a corner, they're not very good. They need room to kite. They need room to move. It's much like BioMech or anything else. But here comes Dark. It's the big surround. He gets a tank, but he pays dearly for it. And now, yeah, Dark's going to try to get on the tank line from behind, but in the front, he's losing so much here. And even that, he gets 2 tanks. I mean, sure. 107 army supply to 76. Dark is dead in this game. He transitioned too slow. He tried to go for the round 2. After the 1-1 max, he tried to go into the 2-2 max. And he did not get enough at all. Dark, he's trying desperately, fighting in this game, looking for some room to come back. There's no, just like there's no room for him to retreat, there really is no room for him to come back into this game number 1 anymore. And I know it's Dark, and he is the master of comebacks, master of low eco play. I am sorry, you don't win 2-2 Roach against 2-2 Bio when the Bio has more, and there are tanks as well. It just does not happen. So Dark, the last of this army, will fall. 50 army supply now to 113, and Clem continues his incredible run. He goes up 1 on Dark. Now in the bottom right, in the blue, he's up a game holding again. For Team Liquid, Clem. Bottom left, upper left, in the red, down a game. Dark. Now that we're into game 2, we saw the Roach build, we saw Dark. It felt like he might have made something happen, but I think after he got the Reapers and he got the Cyclones, I don't think that, so really he got all the map control in the world. I don't think going into a 1-1 Roach timing was the proper play. I think he was slow, despite getting all the map control. I think he was slowed down enough too much to hit the 1-1 timing. And because his 1-1 timing wasn't good enough, he didn't hit the 2-2 timing, and you know, it went from there. So I think I would have preferred to see him play the mid game, go to late game maybe. Like, so he wasn't going to be able to hit the 1-1 timing fast enough. But I think if he played very greedy behind that map control that he got, I think he would have been maybe in a better position to play something a little bit later. I don't know. And there's of course also the question where banelings are not as good as they once were, so Dark may be less interested in playing Ling Bane than he would play Roaches. I mean, he's always been a Roach boy, don't get me wrong. I'm curious to see where this goes. We did see Dark play Ling Bane against Future. But Future is not a player of the caliber that Clem is. So we're just going to have to wait and see. What does Dark go for in this game number 2? Now, certainly Clem is going for the 3 Reapers. Once again, he's got his command center behind, so probably stops at 3. And does Dark get his third? This time, he was much more conscientious about taking a drone out on the map here. That this drone on the right side ideally gets his third base for Dark, as the Reapers try to be annoying and obnoxious. And actually, interesting. Dark's gonna take the forward. This signals roaches, by the way. Dark, he's gonna take the forward third on 34 supply or whatever it was. Like, this is standard third base timing. Ooh, Reaper goes down. Very nice there, Dark. But the big thing about this is that I think that this is gonna, I think this more than anything tells us that Dark wants to get aggressive on the roach play, because that's how Zerg works. You expand defensively if you're going to play defensive, and you expand aggressively if you want to push. And of course, Dark almost made the break happen in game 1 with the roaches, and he was pretty slowed down by a 46 supply third base. This time, he slowed down a little bit, I guess, because he pulled the drone out early to make, it wasn't mining, so you were missing out on some of your income for a little bit. This third base got down. And I'm just keeping my eyes peeled on that production tab to see if Dark goes and drops the Roach Warren, or if he goes and just plays Ling Bane. Now, Clem is committing to something, I'm not going to say different, because we've been seeing this since the patch, but different from what we... Actually, no, we saw this in game 1. He just lost the Cyclones. They weren't useful. But anyways, double Cyclone on the way. We're going to see eBay's on the way behind this. And now, curious to see what's going to happen. Because remember, Clem delayed the third base for forever and a day in game number 1, but he lost his Cyclones, he lost his Reapers, he lost everything on the other side of the map with the link speed. This time, Clem can find his way onto the other side, and Cyclones, they shred Queens. They really... It's hard to keep Queens alive against it. So that can be really powerful. Do we have any Hellions, actually? Okay, so we got the 2 Reapers, we got the 2 Cyclones, we have the 2 Hellions, the 2 Reapers. It's this is the Noah's Ark build. Clem snatched a hand into Noah's Ark and got them all 2 by 2 by 2. 2 Reapers, 2 Hellions, 2 Cyclones. Although I guess he built a couple more Hellions, so no longer that setup. But for the moment, this game was a biblical allegory. Even still, we're gonna see the Overlord go down, and that's a nice punish. I thought it was gonna go down. Yeah, there. Gotta die. It's gonna die. There. Oh no, it's not gonna die. Very well done, Dark. But this is. I was gonna say this is a nice punish because Zerg players have really in the last 4 years. Maybe that was when that started. Have started to play in such a way where you don't send all your overlords, your first 2, onto the other side of the map like you used to. You send the first one and it's fine. Instead, you put all your second, third, and fourth overlord. And you put them all on the kind of the 3 Hellion vectors. You put them ahead of your creep. So you know where the Hellions are going to be before they hit creep, which A, means you can defend your creep. And B, just means you can make sure you're in position regardless. So that's always going to be pretty nice. But Dark is not going roaches in this game. I really thought he was by taking this aggressive forward position. But the other way to look at this is that it means it gets him creep on the high ground so much faster here. It means a Terran push through the high ground is not going to be nearly as easy. And spreading creep around that base is not quite as important. So from that perspective, it does make a lot of sense, I think, that you go and you do that. Is Ling going for a bit of a scout here? SCVs, we'll kill it off, and that's going to be pretty nice. But now, on to the 4th base. Let's see what he's going to be able to get. 2-2 on the way. So Clem, not really committing for much of anything. He's got his 4th base. Never mind. I thought that was the 4th base, but that's just a couple extra stuff. That's actually the polar opposite of what he's doing, because this, friends, is an 8 racks. But it's a little bit different of an 8 racks than we might otherwise get. Instead of it being an 8 racks that is pressure off of 5 barracks, then you keep going and you add more barracks and you shove them over. This is something more akin to, say, Cure's 8 racks, where in that one, he maxes out and gets Marauders, and that's pretty cool. I was right. I didn't know I was right, but I was right. Yeah, so this is Cure's 8 racks. He's killed a couple Zergs in the GSL off this. It's a really cool idea where instead of just aggression, and trying to whittle the Terran or whittle the Zerg player down over time, you just hit with this big sledgehammer. You build, in fact, you build. We see him building Hellions right now, but you build Hellbats out of your factory. You build Marauders, and you just have this beefy front line, this beefy, just massive army of 2/2 of combat shields and everything else. Now Clemmy's a little aggressive on the map, but he's not doing all that much. And Dark, he's gonna want to figure out what's happening pretty quickly. He sees that there's no fourth base. That's an important scout, so he knows that there's no fourth base. He's doing a really good job on his creep spread, by the way, as Clem Hop picks up, doesn't lose a single. Well, he may have lost 2 Marines, I'm not sure. But now he's going to see the Marauders, he's going to see the Hellbats. He should know what's happening here. Again, he plays on the Korean server. He has, I think he's fallen victim to this build from Dark, actually, in the GSL last season. But I'm going to be very curious to see what happens here, whether Dark can hold on. Again, this is a powerful, powerful build. And it's going to hit right before a lot of those Hive upgrades that Dark has been committing to. It hits before they all hit. All right, we have, well, in this case, it's just the one. It's just adrenal glands. There's no 3/3 on the way. It's really just for adrenal. But you do commit a lot to making sure you get that adrenal. So if Clem's able to hit this time, he's maxed out right now or near about. Look at the, burrowed banelings all over the place. Well, actually, not all over the place. Just right there. Really not all that much. But now, Clem, he's keeping his army back at home. For the most part, he's got this other part of his army. And this is what Dark has to do. Buy time over and over again. He's trying to bait out the baneling shots. He's not going to find it. And now, here comes the rest of Clem's army here. There's not a lot of splash. That really is the big problem. Now, banelings running forward, and we can see they have less HP than they used to. Hellbats are a much more powerful tool. But now Dark, seeing that Clem runs forward, he's on top of the third base here. This is just, Dark's been waiting for this the entire time. It's fine, Clem, fight me. Fine, do it. You don't have an economy behind this. You're going to be all in, even more than you already were. But this army out of Clem is massive. It's not massive enough, though. At least not at first. That was big baneling connections. But now on the backside, that reinforcing line doesn't really do all that much. And now Clem cutting backwards hard as he can. Baneling's on the backside here. That didn't work. Not at all. Dark holds on. 18 SCVs down the drain. Third base lifted. This is how you want to know how you beat this build, by the way? Dark shows you exactly how. You just go, and every time the Terran wants to move out, you backstab them. Over and over and over again. You turn any map they're on into the Ides of March. 27 daggers. 27 daggers in the back. No, I was going to say the back of the head, but just actually in the back. Turn every map into that. Every map into the Roman Forum. And just knock that down. But Clem's got one more push into him. Maybe. He's got his 3/3 on the way. He's still on 45 SCVs, which isn't terrible. But again, the problem with this build is you're trying to max out. You don't have a ton of splash. Banelings, not a lot to kill a lot of Banes. So you just got to pick up, run away again. The Hellbats are for that. That's their job. And again, because they don't have the mini combat shield, these Banelings don't get additional HP. It's a little bit easier to kill them. 30 HP instead of 35. Okay, that's a big baneling shot, maybe, or the big Widowmine shot, maybe. Maybe. And Clem, his next timing, the timing that he's going to have to win this game on, if he wins this game, is going to have to be on this 3/3. It's going to be as he really completes his tech tree. 104 army supply, pretty much even with the Zerg. And again, Dark's on Ling Bane, his army. This Ling Bane army is a lot more supply efficient than what Clem has. So we're going to have to see now. Clemmy's got one more push into him. One more big hit. I really don't know that that's going to work out for him all that well. Realistically, he's got to survive. He's got to find his way back. And Dark, of course, he's got his +3 attack on the way. Now that he's got some room. And again, Dark showing us exactly how you beat this build. At least on Oceanborn, you don't let the Terran mine. You don't let them have any happiness or joy in their lives. And you, again, stab them 27 times in the back over and over again. Parasitic Bomb now on the Medivacs right there. But not a lot of Banelings, not at the start on this left side. But there they are. That's going to have to do it now. Medivacs, they're dead. Less healing in this army that has to be so efficient. And 3 Lings burrowed underneath the command center, so even that's not going to be enough. I mean, Widow Mines are nice. But medevacs continue to fall down here. Clem, again, he's... can't help but feel he's a little bit of copium right now. As now, here comes this round from Dark once again. And that is going to be enough to force him out of this game. Dark ties the series up. We're going to game 3. In the upper right, in the blue, game 1, really nice. Game 2, just running out of momentum. It's Clem. Bottom left, in the red, tying it up, just really tour de force. Dark. As we're now into this third and final game in our series. A reminder, if you want more games of Dark, of Hero, of Clem, of Beyond of Cyril, of all these fantastic players, you should hit the sub button. Because most days, pretty much every single day of the week, you're going to get a best of 3, a best of 5, a best of 7. And I can guarantee you that they're going to be bangers. They're going to be good games in every single series that I upload. So hit the sub button, like this video, because again, that really helps. And how do you feel about that Cure build? I mean, we saw Clem do it. When I see Cure do it, it looks stupid good. But I think a lot of that is scouting as well. Is it actually a good build? Did Dark just expose it for all of its weaknesses, or what do you need to see differently? I don't know. And of course, if you want to catch me live, you can actually sub on YouTube now, because I'm able to multi-stream, or follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/BeoMulf. As again, Clem, 3rd game in a row, 2 barracks opener, going for that pressure, going for that aggression. Every single time, it's been 3 Reapers. Just enough to put a little pressure on, delay the 3rd base, try to. Does he go for more this time? And the answer appears to be no, because we see the SCV on the natural location. He's building up. Yeah, there we go. Command center goes down, and that generally means it's only 3 Reapers. Only not nearly as committed. So now we see the probe, or not the probe, see the drone out on the map there, just understanding that Reapers run across. Dark gets the scout out by, I mean, he saw it with the Overlord, and that means that this 3rd base is not going to get delayed. 28 supply 3rd, perfect timing. Dark has everything he wants. For now, I mean, those are great KDA charges coming out of Clem, but he's got to be so careful with this Reaper right now, looking for a second shot. This time, bounces back towards the creep, and that means that's going to be the end of that. But behind this, Tech Lab, Reactor, on the barracks, adding in the factory, 3rd base on the way. So no additional pressure coming out of Clem. Incredibly. Ooh. This is different. What is this? That is a 2nd factory off of a 2 barracks opener. Is this mech? Is this heavy cyclone play? What is Clem going for? I don't think I've ever seen this. So right now he's reactoring out cyclones 2 at a time. Are we gonna see anything? So there's no other production structure, right? On the main base here, there's nothing to add an additional add-on. Whatever goes on to this factory, it's gonna be a tech lab. I'm looking at this, I'm like, he's got 2 factories. Is this actually mech? Because Clem doesn't play mech. The most we'll see him do is, you know what? I've seen him play mech, I think maybe twice in my entire life, and it was on, I can't remember what the map was named, but it was effectively once you took 3 bases, you had 5 free. It was just insanely good for mech. So we saw him do it once, and we're seeing the Cyclone upgrade, but also Stim. So he is going for a great big Cyclone Stim all in, but these Lings get on top of the Cyclones. They're going to slow this down quite a bit here if Clem can find a way out, but he can't. No, there's a wall right there. Even still, a lot of these Lings are falling, and actually only 1 Cyclone falls. Really nice micro there coming on out of Clem. So he's building 2 Hellions at a time right now. This is like does he drop an armory here? Is this the most next level Hellbat cyclone stemmed marine all in that I've ever seen. Like, what is this? I mean, clearly it's pressure. Clearly it's committed, but he's got a third base. So even as I'm looking at this heavy commitment, I mean, this is a wild build out of Clem. Of course, the Hurricane Thrusters, by the way, the most offensive name in StarCraft because there are no thrusters on the Cyclone. But anyway, these Hurricane Thrusters, they just make the Cyclone much faster. They make it harder for things to chase them down. They make it easier for them to kite. So that's kind of the only value. It's, and I don't know. It doesn't make them faster than Speedling. Certainly not on creep. Anyway, for now, Queens, they're going to get targeted down here. Transfuses are good, but not good enough. And the Cyclone's piling on top of the damage here. Queens will fall. Now Ling's looking for the surround, but there are Hellions at the front here. From the back, though, Dark gets the surround. And I'm sitting here wondering what the build is from Clem. Well, it's death. Doesn't matter what it was going to be. Clem just lost it all. He lost his lunch. And sometimes that happens when you're trying to be a little bit too fancy. Ling's on the surround here, just getting on top of everything. It's another dead Cyclone. And yeah, eventually the Lings have to back up. Eventually they have to run away. A Cyclone costs as much as a tank. They're not cheap. Clem having lost so much of this, I'm sad. I don't think we're going to get to see whatever the Lings... These Lings of Dark, they look like the Lings of Rainer. They're just killing everything. He's going to get another Cyclone. Well, maybe not, but he sees in the main base now. He knows what's happening. SCVs go down. Although, Dark has built himself 2 layers, and I think that's a bit of a mistake. Layer on the way. Yeah, he's got 2 layers on the way. That's a little bit... that's 100 gas. That's a bit wasteful. And, don't know how much of a difference it's going to make. In fact, did he cancel one? Yeah, okay, he caught it. He canceled it. Not that big of a deal. So I thought this might have been some really big Hellbat Cyclone Marine type of timing. But the armory's just going down right now. So that's not the build. And now Banelings try to trundle in, but they don't have speed. So they're not going to get much of anything. I'm truly, really sad right now because... whatever this build was, whatever the idea was, we're not seeing it. Dark caught it out before it was ready, and again, that was just Clem not paying close enough attention to what was happening, I guess. But I would have loved to see what the actual idea of that build is. Because even if Clem wins here, and it's going to be rough from here on out. I mean, he has lost a lot. I mean, technically so too has Dark, but Lings don't matter. He's on 74 drones. He's got 1-1. Bailey speed on the way. He's 2-2 on the way. Dark's happy. Dark's in a fantastic spot. I want to know what that build was for. I want to know what the idea behind that build is. And it's weird. But for now, Dark, Hydra Bane on the way. This style that's been buffed a little bit in the most recent patch because Hydra range, Hydra speed, both of them, their upgrade timing, the upgrade duration, the time it takes to build was cut down by a decent amount. So you still have to buy both. There was a time when they were the time to produce was cut down by a lot, and they were turned into a single upgrade. But now it's buffed just a little bit. As Banelings will force this back. 1 queen go down. Oh, actually, no, that's a really good point. I talk about Cyclones costing as much as a tank, but that was old Cyclones. I don't have it through my head yet. That new Cyclones, on top of everything else, are pretty significantly cheaper. But this pressure coming out of Clem is really powerful. He's up 20 army supply. He's got 1-1. He's got these Hellbats in the front, tanks as well. And Dark has gone Hydras. Hydras against tanks are not very good. I mean, there are Widow Mines as well. There's a ton of splash in this army, but Dark's getting ready for the surround once again. If he makes the surround happen, I think he might... actually, not even a surround, excuse me. He's just going for the run-by, trying to make sure that Clem cannot return home. Make sure that he has to return home, I guess, as now Widow Mines go off, try to get sacrificed, and 2 of them will get knocked down here. And the Ling run-by, again, forces Clem elsewhere. He forces his mind, distracts him elsewhere. But Dark not able to pounce just yet. The Banelings are clumped here. How good are the Widowmine shots? They're massive. But even still, the tanks go down. Ling's looking for the counterattack, looking for the surround, but they're not going to find it yet. And Clem maintains his third base. He's got a fourth base on the way. But Ling's on the backside. There we go. Knock that last Talbat down. Force Clem back up and away. At least for the moment. But another Cyclone joins the fray here. More Widow Mines. Half of Clem's army, though, it's in medevacs. This is not a fight that Clem can really take easily. But Dark doesn't jump on top of it just yet. And he's got no Banes. He didn't remake any Banes after that last fight. He's got to give this base up. He was so focused on trying to sweep that army aside as it happened. He didn't get the Banes. He did not build more Banelings, and now this base is dead. Luckily, he's got a base on the north side. He's still a four hatch Zerg. Well, 5 hatch Zerg, 4 base Zerg. But it's getting a little bit dicey now as now Banelings again run forward. Decent Widowmine shots, dragging them back. And now here comes Clem through the natural a little bit. This is looking promising. +1 mech armor done. That means the medevacs, they survive a little bit longer. The Widowmines, the tanks, they'll last a little bit longer. And +3. Well, 3-3 on the way for Clem here as well, but it's hard. He gets the base. That's already really nice, but moving forward without the tanks, without just this slow sieged up position, is a really hard thing to do. So he's gonna have to kind of situate himself for a moment, think about what he's about to do here before he goes once again. As now Dark again runs forward, gets a couple Marines, but it's just 2 players now looking for the fight, looking for the opportunity. Now Dark's gonna commit here, and the Widow Mines, they don't get the best connections, but the Banelings don't get much either. So the front line evaporates for Clem, but there's another one behind that one. And Dark again, just 2 armies here, north side, west side, looking to flood on in to take the fight from multiple angles. And now the tank's on siege. Clem barely unsieges that one, just a little bit forward. We're waiting for his next round of reinforcements to arrive, waiting for that +3 to be done, because he's going to have it faster than Dark will. But now Dark down the ramp here. Tank forward, just is going to soak some shots. Now Banelings trundle down the ramp here. They don't get the tank. And this army at this point, primarily Hydras. It's 16 Hydras. Traditionally, Hydraling Bane, you don't want to go really above 8, but it seems like it's going to work right now. The forward line is broken. And Clem, he's going to get forced back. So at the end of that, as Dark did force Clem back and force this reset, Dark lost a base. Really didn't lose much of anything else. It was army for army. Oh, Widowmine drop coming on out. It's going to get like nothing all that much. And now Dark's getting ready. He finally's got the hive. He's into that next round of tech. He's got a lurker den on the way. Adrenal glands rapidly improving his stock, but +3, +3, 3-3 for the Terran is going to be done very quickly here. And Clem's going to find the extra base, but he doesn't even want it. He wants more. Into the main base he's going to go. Let's see how much tech he finds. That's the real goal of this one. He's got medevacs, he's got Widow Mines, he's got tanks here. They're just buffering. The parasitic bomb, though, they're going to kill every single thing in here. This is a disaster for Clem. As long as this army dies, as long as it's somewhat cost effective for Dark, it's a disaster. He lost every single medevac. This is actually trading pretty well. I thought it was going to be really bad as the medevacs fell, but not at all, actually. It's pretty good for Clem. He finds his way now into the mineral line a little bit more. Eventually, this gets dealt with, but 7 drones go down. And he got a lot of Dark's army. So Lurker range now on the way. +3 armor done. +3 attack. Just now getting started. That's fine. And you care about, you really care about getting that +1, +2 range more than you care about +3 for the most part if you're going to play this heavy. And I mean heavy Hydra. It's not as big as it was. It was 16. Now it's 12. This decent Hydra build. When the more Hydras you get, the more important the upgrade is. So Clem though on 5 bases. After his first couple pushes, really were not all that successful. They got a base, you know, they forced trades, but they haven't. They wanted to knock Dark out of the game, and they haven't quite been able to do so. And even if we look at resources lost, we're 15 minutes in. And it's less than 3,000 resources differential between the two. Well, yeah, it's less than 3,000 resources differential between the two of them. For a TVZ, that's pretty dang impressive. Here's now a Widow Mine drop. It's going to go down once again. It's going to get links. Not much more than that. And, you know, at this point in the game, you can afford. You can absolutely afford a couple links to kill off a couple Widow Mines. It's minerals for gas. It's Dark's mining, 2,600 minerals a minute, 10 links. No big deal. And the ghosts aren't quite out yet. So that was a kill, by the way, not a cancel on the gold base. That's a nice move out of Clem. But as Dark now expands to take the map. More importantly, he expands to take the bottom side of the map, which Alcyone can kind of be considered a kind of an island map because you have this mineral wall across the map of different things. But anyway, pressure moves forward here. That's a great surround and the abduct, but it's maybe third abduct. Yeah, okay, it's gonna get it. Very nice, Dark. Well done. Anyway, this kind of becomes an island map. So it's a little hard to make your rotations happen, but notice Dark, he's mined out every mineral patch on this wall. He's taking rocks down as much as he can. I'd like to see him take these rocks down as well, because these positions become yeah, he got these rocks right here. These positions become very siegeable by the Terran. I mean, just look at this. You put a tank right there, good luck holding this base, especially if these rocks aren't down. So Dark needs to do the next level of work. He needs to knock that down. His parasitic bomb gets the medevac. The Widow Mines still find their way in. Queen's deputized over, and there's nothing to kill. Meanwhile, a random tank. Not really sure what that was for, but it happens as these Widow Mines are just not burrowing. So Dark gets a couple free Widow Mines. I thought he was going to get a couple free Widow Mines, but Dark on the north side. This is the pressure right now. There's actually not a lot here. There are a couple tanks, couple Widow Mines, but they go down so fast. So the lurkers will kill this base. There is just, yeah, it's dead immediately. 18 SCVs go down. Clem was looking for counter pressure of his own on the bottom side, but he's just not able to find it. Widow Mines go off, and that really should do it here. 20 SCVs dead. Now ghosts are going to try to snipe down. They get one lurker. I think Dark's okay with that. I think Dark is very okay with that. He got 20 workers. He got a planetary. Got a bunch of tanks. But this is as we transition fully into the late game, and this game is starting to feel like it might go a ways longer. Still that 3K delta, by the way. This game again looks like it might go a little bit longer. This is a fascinating late game TVZ map because of the weird base locations. Ooh, nice tank snipe. Like, look at this base location. Lurkers can punish this, so too can tanks, but it's just the way it forces you to expand is very different from a lot of maps. We used to just, you know, on a map you'll go and you'll take the outside of the map, and then there's maybe like one interior base, and it's a little bit decently, it's not all that easy to punish. This setup right here is just, it's pretty novel, and I'm a big fan of it. I really enjoy what we're able to see just from like conceptually the base design. Now, the one thing I wish we had actually on this map, and I wish we had this on more maps in general, is an uneven number of bases. As the Lings go forward here, soaking the Liberator shots as much as they can. Nice connections there on the Banes. But I'd like to see a 9 map. What would that be? A 19 base map. And we see some of them sometimes. But maps that have one base that whoever takes it is going to have an advantage is, I think, a really nice idea, because it forces interaction in the late game instead of just infinite turtling. That being said, Widow Mines, they get their fair share of Lings, and now we're starting to see some SCVs go down on this lurker play. But Dark does feel somewhat necessary for him to be as aggressive as he is here, because if he gives the position up, suddenly Clem's going to be able to do to him. Oh, snipes down there on the Viper as well. Very nice. But if he gives this position up, if he lets this this pressure kind of end, ooh, Banelings now through the wall. Snipes down. That's getting a lot of lurkers here all of a sudden. But if Dark is forced to give this position up, if Dark suddenly has to go and he kind of loses this line of creep through the middle, suddenly Clem sieges this area instead of the other way around, and it becomes a little sad. So this map very much feels like it can swing in the blink of an eye. But Dark is taking a base from Clem on the north side. You have to see that. You'd love to see that. as we talk about these kind of late game split map scenarios, you really, as the Zerg, want to make sure that you're taking a base from the Terran, because as the game goes later, I understand that Dark has been trading generally pretty well in this game, and now it's 6k, not 3. But there is no, once the ghosts are out, once the just this slow turtle plotting Terran style, once you get to that point, it's impossible to trade evenly. So you got to steal the base. You got to break the Terran down. And Dark on the left side, he's finding that opening. It's just a couple tanks. That's not the solid defensive position that he'd like to find. Now a dead orbital is a wonderful trade, but he is going to have to run away as this lurker will fall. Dark just doesn't want to fight with the Hydras. It's not worth it now. Ooh, Vipers, Dark, no! Loses one. It's not going to lose the second, I guess, but 300 gas down the drain. And although Vipers were buffed slightly in the last patch, it wasn't in any meaningful way, and certainly it wasn't economically. They just, they do a little bit less damage to structures they're sucking on. Ooh, wait a minute. That Viper thought it had escaped, but a couple Marines were just clicked on it. And you would gladly lose 3 or 4 Marines to knock a Viper down out of your opponent. That was a beautiful, well, actually just a big mistake from Dark. Not even a beautiful move at all, as now here comes Dark running in, trying to catch his opponent off guard. But this Sim City, man, it's so good. Yeah, the Lings and the Banes run in, but look at this fight out of Clem. He should be able to, well, I would think he should be able to knock the rest of these lurkers down, but maybe he can actually. Dark, he's into the natural right now. He's getting a bunch of barracks, and the lurkers are actually doing a great job. I thought those lurkers were going to die after the Lings and Banes died, but apparently not. And it actually turns out much better for Dark than I thought it did. Again, 6,000 is the delta here. Another base will go down. Adrenal Lings shredding here. He doesn't lift. All of a sudden, Clem is dying. All of a sudden, Clem has no money. Clem's army supply is okay. I mean, that's always going to be the case in these late games for the most part. But his economy was just shattered. I really thought Clem had the cleanup there. Again, the Sim City was so good. The splits were, but he just didn't feel like he could bring in the ghosts, right? Yeah, that's what it was. It was just too bit of an awkward angle to bring the ghosts in, so we couldn't get the snipes off. And then those lurkers zoned everything out. Here and now, more of the bio will continue to fall down. That's a command center that is very low. It's burning. Is this the new medevac upgrade? I think that is. So now we see the medevac upgrade, which means they heal. What is it? They heal more HP per energy. I think that's what it is. Or is they? No, there we go. They regen energy faster, which is kind of the same thing. So it means these medevacs have a little bit more utility in the late game. As we see, yeah, the Caduceus reactor complete. I'm not sure what that icon is supposed to be though. The button? It's a nipple? I don't know. Anyway, now that's going to be done. So medevacs regen HP a little, regen energy just a little bit faster now as Dark again for that massive swing, looking to cut out the guts of the Terran. Yeah, Dark's or Clem's economy is still okay. I mean, it took a hit, but he's still mining pretty nicely. He's got enough orbitals to give himself some nice mule hammers. But if Dark can get into the main base here and start to shut down this production, that's where things start to get problematic. And now the natural is just very, very dead here. This planetary is the Liberators and the planetary are doing a decent job of knocking down these lurkers, but now the scan's done. And the Liberators, they're dead as well. Actually, you know what? I think this planetary kills it all. High-stack auto-tracking, building armor, really good. I think it kills everything with the repairs on top, but... Does it? Yeah. Got it all. It killed it. Well, we need another scan. And more lurkers are going to arrive, so maybe not. Maybe it doesn't get it all after all. Scans? Do we have a scan here, Clem? I don't know. But this base, I know there are other things to look at. I'm watching this base. This base, 17 kills on the planetary, is just kind of ridiculous, actually. It's just... But, you know, Dark now, he senses victory a little bit. He understands how much damage he just got. And now the planetary survived just long enough to die anyways. And now that's going to be another dead planetary, and the SCVs on top of it. They've also fallen. So now Clem seems like he might. Oh, he's not even going to get the gold base here. The lurkers, they reposition. They're fine. So Clem, he's got this one base. 8 mineral patches there. This is a gold base. It's going to mine out very quickly. He's got the right side base, 4 mineral patches, and not a lot of money there. Third base, mined out. This base, dead. Natural, mined out. Clem doesn't have a lot, really doesn't have a lot of mineral patches left to work with. This is starting to be, yes, the supplies are equal, and yes, the banks are actually pretty equal too. But from the economic situation that Dark has, again, he's been able to expand to the north side. He's got, well, it's actually only 3 mineral patches on this base. Might be giving Dark a little bit too much credit. I think I might be. He got the, he lost the base as well. If Dark gets away with that north side base, he's fine. He's absolutely in a winning position. But if Clem is able to knock that down, it's going to get pretty hard. That being said, on the north side, there's some damage, but drones go down, and Dark's going to be, or Clem's going to be able to take this base. But that missile turret is where the orbital wants to be. Clem, my dude, I understand that there was a base there, but do you want to allow yourself to mine efficiently? Anyway, Ling's on the other side, though. They're going to get another tank, maybe an orbital if Clem's not paying attention. I mean, it's going to burn. No, it's not. Takes a lot of damage, but will survive here. Drops down once again. And while Dark's had this pretty solid economy, losing that base, it was a big punch. Clem's up 40 army supply. And you know, Dark is doing Clem a service right now. That missile turret will fall, which means maybe it's not actually. Never mind. Missile turret doesn't go down until there we go. Okay, missile turret will fall, and that will allow Clem actually to take the base properly. Dark doing Clem a service. All for about the best laid plans of mice and men. But look at, okay. We have a greater spire. No. Dark just adding corruptors into this because he's got a ton of gas and needs something to deal with the liberators in the sky. So these are going to be battle corruptors right now, just running on top looking for value. Oh no, the infestor dies immediately. And this army out of Dark, it is just dying so quickly here. The ghost shredding things with cloaking as well. Here comes Dark. He's going to have to make a really incredible fight happen. But look at that choke. Look at that choke coming out of Dark. It is, okay, but that's a fungal. That's a massive fungal right now. Can Dark do it? Is that enough right now? Second fungal goes down, but there's just not enough damage. The healing is good. And I think Dark just lost this game. His bank absolutely shattered here, down at times half the army supply at Clem. Resources lost 13k, which actually, you know, I've seen it be a lot worse in a TVZ, but Clem on that kite back, just holding that line after line after line of tanky units against the Banes. He's going to get this base now, and granted, it's not that important from a mining perspective. It's got 4 mineral patches. But it is positioning. It is creep. It is control. And it's also some gas, which can be pretty important. But Dark now, actually, he's not mining. He's got 300 minerals a minute coming onto the map. It's not often that you see a Zerg lose because they don't have minerals and they have too much gas. But that seems to be the position that Dark is in right now in this game. Snipes go down, get overlords, because why not? Any value is good value at this point. And Clem's got a knee on Dark's neck. He's got him in a chokehold, and Dark is very close to tapping out in this game. Now the question is, what can Dark do? What is he building up for? He's got the base again. He's mining on the north side. He's still less than 1,000 minerals a minute. This map is, I can't believe that way. This does not feel like a 29 minute game. It's been just so back and forth. But this map is almost mined out. Clem's taking this bottom side base, and he's just dropping Mulehammer after Mulehammer. He's got the right side base too. Dark's taking the 2 bases on the north side, but one of them is totally mined out. So there's just more money on the map available to Clem right now. And if Dark had been able to hold the bottom side base, the 5 o'clock base, he would have been in a great spot. Don't get me wrong. But he wasn't able to. So because a Zerg always trades worse, 13,000 again. Resources in the bad here for Dark. Oh, look at that snipe down. The bait there. Corruptors just keep falling. Overlords just keep falling. And Dark just desperately trying to spend his gas. And he's done a good job of it. He has no gas left in the bank right now. He's as broken gas as he is in minerals at this point. Because now the drones have to get pulled away. And it's 5 infestors. Go adding on to the 2 that he's got 5 vipers as well. He's going to have to do it with the spellcasters. I saw people talking about how somehow the game was going to go for forever. Dark wasn't going to have an economy, and he would pull magic out with his infestors. Well, this is going to have to be that magic. This is going to have to be that magic juju that makes Dark win games that he has no business winning, because he's literally mining off of 1 base. And yeah, it's a rich gas base. That just means it runs out of gas even faster. 34 gas, 26. Once that's done, Dark will have no more gas remaining. Now Fungo goes down on the Ghost. EMPs, I think, hit pretty well as well, though. So only one fungal out of each infestor. But now the infestors, they burr up. Scans get dropped everywhere. Clem's got plenty of those. Infestors, they start to fall. This is hard for Dark. This is so hard for Dark. Parasitic bombs off the start here, knocking down, doing damage to some of these liberators. Let's see what he's going to be able to find for now. Just denying mining at this base. 10 drones go down. Not like Dark cares. He was still pretty heavily saturated anyways. Now we're going to see that liberator fall. Longer this goes, the better it is for Clem. Again, he's mining. This base might mine out decently quickly. It's only 3 mineral patches, but he's got this base. It is fresh as hell. Clem, though, he understands that this is the game that he wants to play. He doesn't have to run down. He doesn't have to go. As we just see a bunch of changelings go down. Clem doesn't have to go down the ramp. Clem can just force Dark to attack into him over and over again, and Dark has to tap out. What a controlled late game from Clem. What a series we got from these two. Now that means Clem, in a rematch of VPT Europe, he's going on to the finals against Max Pax.